afternoon. Welcome to the National Museum of the American Indian. My name is Howard Bass. I have the honor of working here in the Museum Programs Department, and I'm very happy to see you all here as we celebrate Jazz Appreciation Month in our own special American Indian Museum way, with a tribute to the great Jim Pepper. We've had one marvelous set already this afternoon, and we'll have another one in just a few minutes. But before we begin the program, I have a few quick announcements, and then we're going to have a bit of a ceremony to officially welcome Jim Pepper's saxophone and some other memorabilia from him to the museums. If you happen to be around tomorrow, we welcome you to come back for the Cherry Blossom Social. The members of Yellowhammer who are here in this program will be back tomorrow, and there'll be some dancing out in the Potomac. It's now my honor and my pleasure to welcome some people to the stage. I want to especially welcome Susie Pepper Henry, who is Jim Pepper's sister. I want to welcome Jim Pepper Henry, who is an associate director here at the museum, and I want to also welcome Rick West, who is the director of the National Museum of the American Indian. Also, Karen Knight Pepper, and I also want to welcome Mr. Aaron Cruz. So would you all please come up to the stage now? I want to turn the microphone over to Mr. Aaron Cruz, who I just met and finding out some interesting things about. Among other things, he now lives in the house that was the Pepper family home, and he has a very special connection to the family and to helping bring greater awareness to the great legacy of Jim Pepper. So, Sean?
Thank you, Howard. You must not forget me when I'm long gone, for I loved you so dearly, Jim Pepper sang. And we are gathered here today to proclaim that this unique and remarkable man will indeed never be forgotten. On behalf of the family of Jim Pepper, Hunga Chieda, the Flying Eagle, I am honored and privileged to speak today, and I hope that my words are worthy of the occasion, that they carry honor and respect to all. Jim Pepper was born in 1941, and he passed from this life in 1992, leaving a legacy of art and personality that bridged cultures and continents. The gifts with which the Pepper family honors the National Museum of the American Indian today, including the silver saxophone through which Jim spoke his heart, always honoring his Indian heritage, forging new directions in music, preparing the way for future generations of musicians, are emblems of that legacy. In order to understand the legacy of Jim Pepper, one must first appreciate that Jim's music originated in the traditions, the language, and the culture of Native people, in his absorption of the teachings of his grandfather, Ralph Pepper, and of his father, Gilbert Pepper, and his mother, Floyd Pepper, who recently celebrated her 90th birthday. Their influences are at the core of this glorious transcendental music. Those teachings inspired Jim throughout his entire life, and we are all the beneficiaries of those lessons. As a dancer, a singer, a composer, a band leader, an innovator, and as a saxophone player, Jim took those traditional songs, chants, rhythms, sounds, never losing contact with their native origins, never failing to give honor to his people, and created a new vocabulary of sound and meaning, incorporating American jazz, African and Caribbean rhythms, melody, and what he liked to call sweet harmony into a body of work that has yet to be fully appreciated. The music often categorized as world music was to Jim Pepper simply music for the people. In 1999, in her acceptance speech on the occasion of her son's First Americans in the Arts Award, Floyd Pepper spoke these words. Jim Pepper was a member of the Kaw Indian Nation, known as the Wind People, from his father. From me, his mother, he was a member of the Creek Indian Nation, known as the People of the Waters. It is no wonder his music was so strong and powerful, with the wind to carry his music to the four directions of the earth, and as long as the grass shall grow and the waters flow, which is forever, may his spirit remain alive for time immemorial. Assembled here today from the east, the west, the north, and the south, the musicians and singers of the Jim Pepper Remembrance Band and Yellowhammer have come to pay tribute to their musical and spiritual brother, and the tears they shed this afternoon, like the tears that flowed during yesterday's rehearsal, mark the depth and the breadth of the love they share for this wonderful soul, the man who Muskogee Creek poet Joy Harjo called the musician who became a bear in her song dedicated to Pepper that is already in the Smithsonian collection. We do more than remember Jim today, we celebrate him. In the month that Jim passed, that February of 1992, Karen Knight Pepper composed a song poem titled simply Jim. That poem begins, Family Jim, our son Jim, brother Jim, Uncle Jim, my Jim, your Jim, all of ours Jim. And the poem concludes, B-flat Jim, Alaska Jim, Powwow Jim, Polar Bear Jim, Feather Jim, Gourd Rattle Jim, Gentle Jim, Witchi-Tai-To Jim, Water Spirit Jim, Comin' and Goin' Jim, Yanaho Jim, Yanaho, Yanaho. Jim Pepper, son of the Creek and Kaw nations, son of Oregon and the United States, son of Gilbert and Floyd Pepper, has become a son for the ages. And on behalf of the family of Jim Pepper, we are presenting today Jim Pepper's original Selmer silver-plated balanced action saxophone, late 1950s vintage, both of Jim's saxophone cases, the bearded ball cap worn by Jim Pepper in concert, turtle shell rattle used in concert in the recording studio, original handwritten scores and sheet music including Witchi-Tai-To, and original LPs including Jim Pepper's 1971 Pepper's Powwow. And on the last song of this performance, Dennis Springer will play Jim Pepper's saxophone. And we thank you all for coming today.
Thank you very much for that very, very eloquent statement in remembrance. I have to say that for me, as the director of the National Museum of the American Indian, this is so much more than receiving wonderful memorabilia, as wonderful as that is, and it is, because there is a powerful human story here of Jim Pepper and what he had to go through in many ways, which was not finding, in important ways, the recognition here in this country that he should have while he was alive, and instead he was recognized more in Europe. Hopefully, your presence here today and the presence of these wonderful memorabilia of this remarkable man in our collections will bring a resolution to that shortcoming from the past, at least in part. And the second thing I would like to say, apart from the personal dimension of it, which with Jim Pepper is so powerful, is that his music represents something that this museum has stood for from the very beginning, and that is this wonderful connectedness between past and present, the gift of being able to move into media or forms of media that are not necessarily ours and making them ours in very powerful and important ways. And so I think that this kind of thing is such a contribution to the mark that has been established by the National Museum of the American Indian, that we are all of these things. and it is important for everybody sitting here, whether you are native or non-native, to remember that there is this completeness, this movement through time and place on the part of Native people and through art that has made us always dynamic and always creating very beautiful art. And so I want to say again how much I appreciate this gift to the National Museum of the American Indian and how much it means for us, all of us who work here. And I would like you to join me once more in acknowledging these family members who are here for the remarkable gift that they have made to us.
I mentioned earlier this is Jazz Appreciation Month. Joy Harjo's name was mentioned. She will be on this stage in 2 weeks at 3 p.m. on the 21st as we continue our unique celebration of Jazz Appreciation Month here at the National Museum of the American Indian. Please now join me in giving a very warm welcome on this rather chilly spring day to the members of Yellowhammer, who've come here all the way from Oklahoma to sing some traditional songs, much as they did with Jim Pepper back in the day. And also please welcome the wonderful musicians, also colleagues and friends of Jim Pepper. Please welcome the members of the Jim Pepper Remembrance Band. Thank you.
Good afternoon. In the words of Jim Pepper's mother, Floy C. Pepper, Jim Pepper believed in the Indian philosophy of equality and respect. When we speak of equality, we are speaking of social equality, the belief that everyone is entitled to a feeling of dignity, a feeling of accomplishment, and a feeling of worthwhileness. Respect, a feeling of belongingness and acceptance. Jim's path in life was not easy as he had to bridge two worlds. He did not find the respect and acceptance of him in America, but he did find it in Europe. There he was respected as a person and as a jazz musician. There he found peace. Perhaps it took his death for him to be appreciated here in the United States. At this time, Yellowhammer will sing a memorial song in remembrance of Jim Pepper. The drum that is being utilized this afternoon is a drum that was made by one of the drum makers of the Ponca tribe of Oklahoma, Mr. Henry Collins. Not only is Mr. Henry Collins a drum maker, but he's also a composer. The song that we're going to use is a memorial song that was composed by Mr. Henry Collins, basically talking about God and remembering those that have went on to the better life in God's kingdom. While we're singing this song, we're asking all of those of you that can stand, would you please do so? And then as soon as the song is completed, you may be seated.
Niki niki Witchi-Tai, yo wangachi ada. Niki niki Witchi-Tai, yo wangachi ada.
It's good where we've been and where we're going. Hey, 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 hey. It's good where we've been and where we're going. Hey, 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 hey. Where we've been and where we're going. Hey, 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 hey. It's good where we've been and where we're going. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey. Ständig, der Edge